Doug and the Commish, and we are going with the Desk Jockeys, the 1 and 5 Desk Jockeys, who's kind of been snake bit. And we've got the 3 and 3 Nappy, who's quickly on a downward spiral.
Him and Jim.
That said, let's get started right away. Drew Brees against Miami. I actually, I like it just because he's Drew Brees. And I don't think I have any reason to not like that matchup.
Let me throw one idea at you, Dougie.
Okay.
How did Miami handle Indianapolis? They ran the ball.
Yeah.
Even if it is with a high school style running attack,
yeah.
They did control the clock. Is it possible, being in Miami, that they do this again to the Breeze?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's possible, but yet they still lost that game, and Peyton Manning still had 30 points. That said, I think that Breeze could do that just as well as Manning could to them.
All right. I like that.
But I mean, either way. Now, Nappy-headed foe has quite a bit of quarterbacks. He's got Tony Romo, Mark Sanchez, and Brett Favre. Okay? Now, you have a message to send to Nappy. Go ahead.
The Dirty Sanchez, I would drop him like he's extremely hot right now for two reasons. One, because he just threw 72 interceptions in one game and single-handedly lost that game for the Jets. And number two, you've lost 3 games in a row now. It's time for you to get off that chair and send a message to your team that you are not going to accept mediocrity.
All right. So are you okay with the Tony Romo play here?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm okay with that, but you've got to drop the Sanchez. Send a message.
All right. Marion Barber and Cadillac Williams for Nappy. Marion Barber going up against Atlanta yet again. Cadillac Williams against New England. Cadillac Williams actually making himself, for a while there he was relevant, then he stopped. Now he's back on track. I guess I look at it, and I mean, both guys have okay matchups with going up against defenses that give in the mid-teens to the running backs. So I think I'm okay with both of those, but you wonder about Marion Barber's health.
You do, and you got to wonder about Felix Jones being healthy now, and also Tashard Choice is back and stealing some carries. Risque play, but it's the best that he has. So you got to roll with him.
Other side of things, Cedric Benson against Chicago and Joseph Adai against St. Louis. I think Adai has a monster game here. He's actually looked pretty decent this year. I think we all kind of gave him the fantasy death, but he came back to life, and coming off of a bye week, seems to be healthy. You got to like him. And then Cedric Benson, just nothing but a surprise this year.
A pleasant one.
A great pickup for Jockey, really.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to give the edge to Jockeys in this one, just because I think both players are having better years and have better matchups.
One thing that we have not mentioned quite yet that we'll probably get to in the McLaughlin toiletry game is the trip overseas to London could play a role in how each team handles the jet lag and the photos and all this media nonsense and hoopla going around this game. It could play a role in the strategy of that game, and it's tough to say how that would affect it. But it'll be an interesting dynamic.
Well, I also think that he has Matt Forte on the bench that, I guess you could play if you really needed to, but I don't think I bench Benson or Adai for this one, do you?
I wouldn't either. Adai's matchup is gold.
Okay. Dwayne Bowe, Hines Ward, Steve Breston. Breston's getting a lot more looks. Bolden getting questionable, so Breston's getting a little bit more looks here.
Yes.
I like that one. Dwayne Bowe against San Diego. San Diego gives up some points.
I really like
and
that.
So does Hines Ward. We all know how I feel about Hines Ward.
Smush face, and I love him.
Yeah. So anyway, other side of things, Reggie Wayne, Terrell Owens, who...
He let me down.
That was a terrible miscall on that one.
I stood up for him. His name's Terrell. I stood up for him, and all he did is turn around and backhand me.
Yep, he did.
Terrell.
Andre Caldwell against Chicago. Reggie Wayne against St. Louis. Terrell. That's all the same. Yeah,
Catch a ball and I'll call you whatever you want.
Yeah. Who do you give the edge to?
Desk Jockey by a large margin.
I agree with you. Yeah, I see Reggie Wayne having a really good day, but I hate T.O., and I don't really know about the other guys. Tight ends. Jockeys has 3 tight ends. Dallas Clark, Jeremy Shockey, Shenko. Who do you play?
The Shenko.
Mm-hmm.
He has one heck of a relationship being built with Old Man Favre.
Yeah, he does.
What is the last 3 games? He's been very productive.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the last 2 games. He's been very productive tight end. And in the wet toast, what do you go to first?
Yeah, you go to the tight end.
You go to the tight end.
Mm-hmm.
I like Dallas Clark as an individual.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like him this week over the Shenko.
Yeah.
The Shenko is the man here.
Yeah. I don't really think you go wrong here if you're desk jockeys, to be truthful with you.
Good call.
So I'm okay with any one of the 3 that he plays. So on the other side of things, I know you like Jermichael Finley.
Like is a soft word. I love him.
Okay. Going up against Cleveland, not a bad matchup. What do you look to get out of your tight ends? How many points? I mean, obviously you'd love to get like 15 or 20, but that's not reality.
Normally, if you got 10 points, 10 or above, that is a very solid week out of a tight end.
You're shooting for 5, wouldn't you say?
I mean, if you're mediocre like Nappy, you're shooting for 5. If you want to win and excel, you shoot for 10-ish.
That sounded very smug of you.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you. You were smug, but you had a right to be smug towards the Nappy.
Mm-hmm.
His team sucks right now, and they're getting ready to lose their 4th straight game, and he's on probation, basically, and the GFO, and this is what he's going to give us for a performance? I mean, smug is the nicest thing you should have been towards him and his roster.
All right, I'll take the high road, and we'll move on to the defenses. Jets against Oakland.
Shouldn't be worried about somebody being smug when you're in a doughboy-like spiral downwards. Let's get it together.
I think his Jets will have a huge week. Oakland's really terrible, and I would like to say that, granted, they are flying across the coast. That might have a little bit of an impact, but Oakland gives up about 13 points a game to opposing defenses. Now, the Bills against Carolina, Carolina gives up 17 points to opposing defenses.
Ooh.
I don't know that I trust the Bills just as much as I didn't know if I trusted the Panthers in the other matchup.
Right.
Right. These 2 defenses could both score 15 or more points this week.
I'm with you.
So, I don't know. Matchup?
I like the desk jockey to bring the nappy-headed foe its 4th loss in as many weeks.
Okay.
I don't think that it's going to be a blowout. I see somewhere in the ballpark of maybe 92, 80, something like that. But it's going to be a desk jockey win.
I'll take desk jockeys. I think he gets 100, and I don't think Nappy does. Nothing against Nappy. Not trying to be smug. I just don't think he gets to 100 points. That is it for this matchup. We'll be right back.